Today I'll be reviewing Amazing Spider-Man number 501. This book came out in 2004 and was written by J. Michael Straczynski, and the art is by John Romita Jr. This book takes place in like a day of Aunt May's mind. She decides to leave the house and goes to visit her Peter's parents and her husband. Now this is very cool actually because it doesn't really reveal that till the end. She talks about her and Peter and how Peter always risks her life, and she tries to convince them that she's not worried when you can tell herself that she is worried. This is told through flashbacks. So the narration is kind of her telling them, and I almost thought at first that it was like breaking the fourth wall, which I would have hated completely if they did that, but they didn't. It felt like they were talking to you, like it felt like she was talking directly to the reader because she'd always look just at the camera from just like a straight on angle, like you were having a conversation with her, which is just fantastic. A lot of the Spider-Man views, there might have been like 12 panels, but that was from like the top. You could see him like jumping around, and those are often the ones where she's like, I wasn't worried, and then you can just kind of see on her face, I don't know what's gonna make it. And the one that really kind of stood out to me is when these little kids were playing Spider-Man versus Doc Ock. She's trying to convince her family, well, you know, the dead people, that she doesn't really walk around always worrying, and that she doesn't always get constantly reminded, but when she's walking around, she's just kind of seeing these two kids playing as Doc Ock versus Spider-Man, and the Doc Ock kid's trying to convince the other guy that Doc Ock would beat Spider-Man any day, which, of course, at the time was illustrated that's not true, but anyways, this is one of those great John Romita arts that just kind of has like that John Romita Sr. style mixed with some modern style, as well as John Romita Jr.'s own little signature, which I think is a little superior to his father's art, which is really cool, I think. And in the end, May kind of gets it kind of a therapeutic turn to her whole problem, and it feels like a really feel-good ending. The one problem I really had with this book is it felt like an epilogue to the previous arc. It just kind of, the whole thing, it just felt like it's just in the middle of nowhere, like they didn't have a big story to do, so they told this story, and it worked out well, but I know a lot of those stories can end up bad if not done well. Overall, this story's just oozing with character development, just kind of like those 60s Stan Lee, Steve Ditko stories, and overall, this is just one of those great character development things. It has a lighthearted tone, and that really earns it a 9.5 out of 10.